There's a shape that aeronautical engineers have known about for decades. Fighter jets use it. Racing cars use it. Bridge designers use it in wind-exposed locations where the wrong geometry means catastrophic failure. It's not a circle. It's not a hexagon. It's not even particularly beautiful when you draw it on paper. It's a trapezoid. 4 sides, but instead of 2 pairs of parallel sides like a rectangle, 1 pair of parallel sides and 2 angled sides that taper the building toward one end. And when you build a Barndominium in that shape, oriented correctly on your site, you get a building that manages wind loads more efficiently than almost any rectangular structure, uses measurably less steel than the same square footage in a rectangle, and produces an interior that's one of the most interesting spatial experiences in alternative residential construction. I've been sitting on this one for a while. Let's go. If you want the geometry and the engineering behind Barndominium design, not just the aesthetics, subscribe to Barndominium Haven right now. Hit the bell. Stay till the cost section, because the trapezoidal Barndominium's numbers in 2026 make a financial argument that the rectangular building simply can't match in high wind locations. Let's get into it. Let's make sure we're on the same page about the shape. A trapezoid has 4 sides. 2 sides are parallel, the top and the bottom, or in building terms, the front face and the rear face, but they're different lengths. One face is wider, one face is narrower. The 2 remaining sides are the angled walls, the sides that taper from the wide face to the narrow face. So imagine a rectangle where someone took one end of the building and compressed it, pushed the 2 far corners inward until that far end is narrower than the near end. From above, the building looks like a trapezoid, wide at one end, narrower at the other, 2 angled walls connecting them. In Barndominium construction, this is built as 2 parallel end walls of different widths, 2 angled side walls, and a roof that follows the tapering geometry from the wide end to the narrow end. The steel panels on the angled side walls are non-rectangular, each one a parallelogram rather than a rectangle, which is the primary source of the fabrication complexity we'll talk about later. That's the shape. Now let's talk about why it's worth it. Here's the core structural argument for the trapezoidal Barndominium, and I want to be precise because I'm making a real claim here. Wind load on a building is determined primarily by 2 things: the building's projected area, how much surface the wind sees, and the shape of the surfaces the wind encounters. A rectangular building presents its full width to wind approaching from the side. If your building is 40 feet wide, the wind sees a 40-foot wide wall. Full pressure, maximum load. Now orient a trapezoidal building with its narrow end facing the prevailing wind direction. Suddenly, the wind sees the narrow end first. If your narrow end is 24 feet wide and your wide end is 40 feet wide, the wind is hitting 24 feet of wall instead of 40 feet. That's a 40% reduction in the projected area facing the dominant wind direction. 40%. And here's what that means for structural engineering. Lateral wind load, the force that pushes the building sideways and tries to lift the roof, is directly proportional to the projected area facing the wind. A 40% reduction in projected area means a 40% reduction in lateral wind force from the prevailing direction, which means the structural steel required to resist that force, the shear walls, the anchor bolts, the connection hardware, can be engineered to a lower load, less steel, lower cost. Now, I want to be honest about the 150 miles per hour claim in the title. The trapezoidal geometry improves wind performance compared to an equivalent rectangular building. But whether your specific building survives 150 miles per hour winds depends on your engineering, your connection details, your insulation system, your geographic wind zone, not just the shape. What the shape does is make the engineering more achievable at a lower structural cost than a rectangle in the same wind zone. That's the real claim. And it's genuinely significant. Here's the second argument, and this one's about money, more than engineering. A rectangular barndominium has 4 right-angle corners. At each corner, 2 wall panels meet at 90 degrees. Standard connection, standard hardware, standard fabrication. A trapezoidal barndominium has 2 right-angle corners at the wide end and 2 angled corners at the transitions from the wide end walls to the side walls. But here's the thing that most people don't realize about the trapezoid's geometry. The angled side walls are longer than the equivalent rectangular side walls would be for the same floor area. And longer walls, in single-story steel construction, are inherently more structurally efficient than shorter, wider walls. Because the longer wall distributes lateral load over a greater panel length, which reduces the load per connection point. More load distribution, less hardware per linear foot, less steel per connection. On a well-engineered trapezoidal barndominium, the total structural steel required per square foot of floor area is typically 5 to 12% lower than a rectangular building of equivalent floor area, because the angled geometry is working with the load paths rather than against them. 5 to 12% on a building where the kit costs $35,000 to $65,000 is $1,750 to $7,800 in steel savings. Real money. Let me walk you through how this actually works as a living space. Because the tapering geometry creates some genuinely interesting floor plan opportunities. Wide end, 40 feet. Narrow end, 24 feet. Building depth, 50 feet. Total floor area, approximately 1,600 square feet. The wide end is where the social spaces live. Kitchen, dining, living area. 40 feet of width gives you a genuinely generous open social space, wide enough for a proper kitchen island, a dining table that seats 8, and a living area with real furniture clearance. As you move toward the narrow end, the floor plan naturally contracts. The bedrooms go here, the bathrooms, the utility spaces. And here's what I love about the geometry. That contraction isn't a problem. It's a feature. The bedroom zone of a trapezoidal barndominium feels more enclosed, more contained, more private than the bedroom zone of a rectangular building, because the walls are angling inward as you move deeper into the building. The geometry is doing the job of an architectural partition, creating spatial separation between the social zone and the private zone without a single additional wall. The building's shape is its floor plan logic. I find that genuinely elegant. My favorite feature, the wide-end glazing wall. Here's what this is. The wide end of the building, the 40-foot face, is typically the front, the face that looks out toward the primary view or the primary approach. At 40 feet wide and with the full social space directly behind it, this wall can carry a continuous band of glazing from approximately 3 feet above the floor to the underside of the roofline, across the full 40-foot width. That's a lot of glass. And because the wall is wide, not the narrow end, the glazing captures a panoramic view that a narrower rectangular building of equivalent floor area would never achieve. You're looking out across 40 feet of window, not 24, not 30, 40. In a barndominium of 1,600 square feet, that's a panoramic glazing condition that most buildings twice the size don't produce. And the reason it's possible is specifically because the social space is at the wide end of the trapezoid. The geometry delivered the best room in the building to the most window. That's my favorite thing. The mistake. Orienting the building with the wide end facing the prevailing wind. I know, it seems obvious, but I've seen it happen. Because someone wanted the wide end glazing wall to face a specific view, and that view happened to be in the direction the prevailing wind comes from. When you orient the wide end into the wind, you've completely reversed the wind performance logic. Now the wind sees your maximum projected area first. You're no longer presenting the aerodynamic taper to the prevailing wind. You're presenting the full broadside. And the structural steel that was optimized for wind from the narrow end is now under-engineered for wind from the wide end. The site analysis and the solar orientation study, which you should be doing on every build, must also include a prevailing wind analysis for a trapezoidal building. Narrow end into the wind. That's not a preference. It's the reason the shape works the way it does. Get it wrong, and the trapezoid is just a weird rectangle with angled walls. Real numbers. 2026 mid-cost markets. Trapezoidal Barndominium. Wide end 40 feet. Narrow end 24 feet. 50 feet deep. Approximately 1,600 square feet. 2 bedrooms. 2 bathrooms. Open social space at the wide end. Steel kit. 2 parallel end walls of different widths. 2 angled sidewall panels. Angled corner connections. $34,000 to $52,000. The angled corner connections add cost over a rectangular kit. Each of the 2 angled corners requires custom connection hardware, not dramatically more expensive, but real added cost versus a right-angle connection. Structural engineering, wind load specific, trapezoid geometry, $3,500 to $6,500. Foundation, trapezoidal perimeter slab, $14,000 to $21,000. The trapezoidal slab is more complex to form than a rectangular slab. The angled corners require careful layout and forming work. Closed cell spray foam, $18,000 to $26,000. Plumbing, $11,000 to $16,000. Electrical, $9,000 to $14,000. Flak, 2-zone mini split, $7,000 to $11,000. Septic, $9,500 to $14,000. Well, $8,500 to $12,000. Wide end glazing. This is where you invest in the panoramic condition I described. $14,000 to $24,000. Interior finishes, $22,000 to $34,000. Contingency, 15%, $22,000 to $34,000. Total realistic build cost, $172,000 to $264,500 fully finished. Mid-cost US market, 2026. Per square foot, approximately $108 to $165. Comparable to a well-specified rectangular Barndominium of similar size, with the structural steel savings from the geometry largely offsetting the custom fabrication premium of the angled corners. In high wind zones specifically, where a rectangular building of the same square footage requires additional structural reinforcement to meet wind load requirements, the trapezoidal Barndominium can actually come in cheaper than the equivalent rectangle, because the geometry is doing what additional steel would have to do in a rectangular building. That's the financial argument in wind-exposed locations. It's real. I'm not going to tell you this is simple. The 2 angled corner connections, where the rectangular end walls meet the angled side walls, are the most technically demanding details in the entire building. They require a fabricator who has worked with angled steel connections before, not someone who's going to figure it out on your job site. That narrows your builder pool. Meaningfully, the angled side walls create interior wall surfaces that are not perpendicular to the floor. Most furniture is designed to sit against perpendicular walls. The angled side walls of a trapezoidal building are close enough to perpendicular. The taper over 50 feet of depth is gradual. That standard furniture works fine in most positions. But in the corners, where the angled wall meets the end wall, you'll have triangular voids that standard furniture can't fully occupy. Budget for custom built-ins in those corner zones. Not a big cost, but a real one. And the foundation, the trapezoidal slab, requires careful layout before forming begins. A standard rectangular slab has 4 right-angle corners that are easy to verify with simple measurements. A trapezoidal slab has 2 right-angle corners and 2 angled corners that require precise angle verification before concrete is poured. Get a surveyor involved in the foundation layout, not optional on this geometry. Here's my honest take on the trapezoidal Barndominium. For most people in most locations, a rectangle is fine. The trapezoid's advantages are real, but they're most significant in specific contexts. High wind locations, the Gulf Coast, Tornado Alley, the High Plains, where the wind performance advantage translates to real structural savings over a rectangle that needs additional reinforcement. Sites with a panoramic view in one direction, where the wide-end glazing wall delivers something that a narrower building genuinely can't. And builds where the tapering geometry, wide social zone, narrowing private zone, matches the lifestyle of the people building it. If those 3 things describe your situation, this is a genuinely smart and genuinely underutilized Barndominium geometry. Not because it's unusual, because the geometry is actually doing something for your specific conditions, aerodynamically, structurally, spatially, that a rectangle can't do as efficiently. And in building, when the smart solution and the cost-efficient solution are the same solution, that's the one you should build. Subscribe to Barndominium Haven. Drop your location and your wind exposure in the comments. I want to know how many of you are building in conditions where this actually makes sense. And I'll see you in the next one.